Big U.S. military cutbacks, bases for concern around the country. Iraqi refugees in a desperate fight for survival. And an ominous sign for the insurance industry. A major company comes close to the brink. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. The United Nations Security Council tonight finally got around to announcing a formal ceasefire in the Persian Gulf War. This came as President Bush was poised to have announced a post-war hit list of dozens of U.S. military bases to be closed or cut back. People in and around those bases are dreading the economic impact. Jim Stewart reports.
It's the most painful part of the Pentagon's master plan to shrink the military by 25% over the next 5 years.
We'll be taking out about 500,000 people out of the military. You take fewer people, you have a smaller military force, you need fewer bases at which to locate the force. So we have to close bases.
Tomorrow, Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney is expected to announce more than 30 bases nationwide will be closed and 40 more reduced in size. All part of a reduction plan approved before the Persian Gulf War in response to a shrinking Soviet threat and collapse of the Warsaw Pact. Bases expected to be hit include such major facilities as Fort Ord, California, Fort Dix, New Jersey, Whidbey Island Naval Air Station in Washington State, Fort McClellan, Alabama, and Myrtle Beach Air Force Base, South Carolina. Congress, not unexpectedly, is alarmed by this.
I'm not at all convinced that this is a good faith effort at this particular time. I want to see the list, and secondly, I think we have a responsibility to challenge it.
There have been many members of Congress, a steady stream of members of Congress up here to see the Secretary this week. If he honored every request from every member of Congress, there wouldn't be any bases he would recommend closing, because nobody wants bases closed in their district.
The hit list will be reviewed by a separate base closing commission who presents it to Congress this summer as a take-it-all-or-leave-it proposition.
It's very painful for the communities. It's very painful for the members of Congress to go through this. But if you're going to downsize, this is probably the best and fairest way to do it.
The Pentagon says that in the long run, base closures mean savings for the taxpayer. But it's the short run that bothers the thousands of civilian employees at bases on the hit list. For them, tomorrow's announcement could lead to unemployment. Jim Stewart, CBS News, the Pentagon.
At the Alabama Show Palace last night, folks were, as they always are here, out to have a good time.
Take this job and shut it. I ain't working here no more.
A little ironic. This is Anniston, Alabama, where hundreds of folks may be about to lose their jobs. Nearby Fort McClellan, they hear, is on the list to be closed. Tony Molino just lost his job out there and is worried for his friends if the rumor is true.
I feel sorry for people when they lose their jobs out here, because it's going to be harder than, find another job in this small area down here.
An 11th hour move by the Pentagon has changed the time frame for the base closure announcement by...
It's the talk of this small town with a big interest in its Army neighbor. McClellan is home to the chemical weapons experts. The signs and ribbons are still up, welcoming the hundreds sent from here, ready to face the biggest threat of the Persian Gulf War. Ironically, this home front threat of losing the base has people here anxious again. Half of Ron Moody's customers are military.
It will have to hurt. If the business not here, you can't keep the doors open.
Realtor Franz Cobb sees a closed fort cutting home sales by as much as a third. Making a living will be tough.
You just can't pull up and say, hey, Franz, you're going to start another job somewhere. 40's not the best age in the world to go look for another job.
Losing the fort, some have figured, may lose the area economy about $600 million a year.
In my judgment, no man, woman, or child will go untouched by that closure.
Waiting for a decision, says Marjorie Kimmel, is hard on everyone.
Yeah, they're just kind of in limbo right now. Yes, they are.
Especially the hundreds of civilians working at the fort.
And I've worked for the government for 15 years, and this is the first time I've ever been just not sure if it's going to be here.